Hey everyone, TellTale's Reviews here. Today we're going to be showing you all my opinions on the Crash Bandicoot game, the original one. Now on the road to the Insane Trilogy, we will be covering the first three and the racing game by Naughty Dog. Later in the line we should be getting to other games in the series, but I want to start with the ones that I played the most. At least 2016. I played a lot of these games, and these games have become my favourites in the series. Wrath of Cortex coming in fifth, and Twinsanity coming in sixth. It's probably because I played the Wrath of Cortex before. Let's start with that glorious plot. So a scientist called Dr. Neo Cortex is trying to invade an island known as Insanity Island. He also has his own little island and an island in between. He sends his commandos to world domination. Unfortunately, they don't have a leader, so he decides to choose a meddling marsupial who will become our protagonist, Crash. They find him in the wild with his girlfriend and use the Evolve Array to boost them up to the stats they're at now, where they can easily run over something. Ruling an island is easier with these guys when they've evolved, but they need them under mind control or else they won't work. Fortunately for Crash, this doesn't work. He escapes, but forgetting that Tawna's there, Tawna being his girlfriend. He has to go back and save her, which he does, as you are the one controlling him to get Tawna back. It's a very solid plot, but it's been done before with stuff like Mario, where you're a nice plumber who hangs around with a princess. The princess gets captured, you gotta save her. This is the exact same thing, but I like it. It's a good story for this game, as it has new twists on it. As in, the Bandicoot's genetically modified. Now on to those sweet graphics. The graphics in this game. Where do I begin? Even though they're polygonal, they show a lot of depth. As you can see, Crash is very triangular. Very triangular. Normally, triangle means something like insanity in the world of animation. All these triangles on Crash's body isn't just a coincidence, and not because of the polygonal era of the PlayStation 1. It's all because of the design. Crash is supposed to show insanity, which he does quite well. And he really shows it really well, like I said. Unfortunately though, the other characters kind of look bland, like copy and paste, which should be improved in the next few games. Especially the third game, but we'll get onto that when it comes to that. Now, let's move on to the gameplay. For this game, I have a lot to say about the gameplay, where in the other games, I won't have much to say. In this game, you're quite stiff. It works fine enough, but there's a few things I need to say. One is that you kind of have this jump that's like really weird. Take in the UK 1p coin and put it on a rope, and then get two chairs, place them about a meter away, and start flicking it and trying to get it on there. It's exactly the same. Thank you, Cadicarus, giving everyone a way of saying how it feels to jump in the game. Then we have the running, which is quite stiff and slow, but it works for now, and the Baku Mask can speed it up once you get through. And they also give you a extra hit point, and on 3 you make you invincible. The spinning is fine. Don't jump around and spin, or else you'll go flinging in the direction you can, which isn't really helpful, which can make you fall into pits or fire at many times during levels like Slippery Crime, which is the level I think I'm showing you right now. Can't really tell you that much. But unfortunately, like every game in the series, it improves over time. Neil said, unfortunately, it's so bad, but I'd be repeating myself. It isn't bad. It was wild for the first game. Plus, it's the first game in a trilogy that would later become I don't even know, but it was massive. It's got like about 6 main series games in it. 8 main series games in it. But I'm only focusing on the first 4 Naughty Dog games. This game was so popular that it appeared in Uncharted 4 as an Easter egg, because if you remember well, I said that Naughty Dog developed these games, and Naughty Dog used to own the rights to the original trilogy, and Universal took them and started getting other companies to continue with the legacy and story left off by Naughty Dog, leading to games like The Wrath of Cortex and Twinsanity, which are good games, just not as good as the originals. At least that's my opinion. Finally, we have the music. The music is very, very unique. It's not like many other music tracks where you can just go, that's nice, I'll listen to it at some time. No, it is very odd. A little fun fact, they were planning to use something called a urban chaotic symphony, which would take a lot of sounds and turn them into music. Naughty Dog didn't agree with this, so they never did it. But I do agree that this sounds amazing. I'm playing some at the back of the video. Don't know if you can hear it though. It sounds amazing, and it makes the game feel more atmospheric. It's like they took sounds from like African stuff, which makes sense because, you know, it's more of a natural vibe to that music. They took some music from there and then used it in their game. Josh Mansell, the composer, did a really good job. I don't know if he's come back for the new one, but probably not, because nothing else is from the old team. I think that this shows people actually care about stuff like this. That they give the music a shot. Naughty Dog even reused the Boulder Dash shuttle in Uncharted 4, like I said. But the music is something you can listen to in the car while you're going to sleep. Or maybe even just while you're playing a game. Like if you're playing Uncharted 4, you could just pop this on and listen to it. Some of my favourite songs in the whole series are from this, like the Insanity Beach, which is the main theme, and the Recovery Boss fight theme. Unfortunately though, there's going to be flaws with the music, and of course there are in every game. Sometimes it can sound a bit, how do I say this, a bit too chaotic. Is that the right word? I mean that it's not always calm. Stuff like the Hog Wild section, even though it's one of my favourite songs, has a flaw where it's not like the other songs, making it less calm and relaxed. Making you feel tense while playing it. The music's like ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. You might be able to hear it at one point during the video. I don't remember when, and I don't remember if I even put it in, but yeah. That's about it for the music. Now, how's about that ending? Now, the ending in the game, there's 2 of them, like in every game in the trilogy. And even in the Corn trilogy, if you include the Wrath of Cortex, which comes right after Crash Bandicoot Warped, as far as we're aware. Fun fact, that was developed by the people who developed the LEGO games, Traveller's Tales. Also, they had a studio called Oxford Studios, which later developed Twinsanity, which was actually really fun. Anywho, The original ending you'll know is you'll meet Cortex on the blimp and you'll fight him for Tawna. If you win, you gain Tawna back. As you stand there, the credits will roll, and that'll be the end of the game. Now the second ending. If you get all the gems in the game, all 26, you'll find a secret path in the Great Hall. Go down that path until you find Tawna and a bird. Ride on the bird with Tawna into the sunset. Then you learn about a few things from what happened after the game. Like Papu sold his hut or something, I don't remember. But I remember getting that ending. It was really happy. Now there is a cheat code and I'm going to read it out. This cheat code is better than the super password. It's better because it lands you at the lab level with 98% completion. If you put triangle, 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 square, circle, square, x, x, square, circle, triangle, circle, square, circle, x, circle, x, circle, square, square, circle, square, x, x, at the password screen of the first game, in the original game, don't know about the trilogy yet, it will lead you to a 98% completion, not 100%, at the lab, meaning you can go and get one last gem and save the game, so that you have actual evidence that you beat the game, and you can get 100%. The boss fights are very fun though, and I'd like to say that at the end. The boss fights are some of my favourite. But there's only 2 ways to save. This is the last floor, and then we'll end it here. There's only 2 ways to save. One, you get a gem in the level, which is really hard to do, and it really isn't easy. If you try, you have to hit every box. And if you want to, go to the Tawna stage and beat it without dying. You'll be able to save then, and you'll also get showed your password. That's all I have to say. In my opinion, the game Crash Bandicoot 1 for the PS1 gets a solid 6.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time. Next review, Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back. Last time, we took a look at Crash Bandicoot for the PlayStation 1. So what better to take it right afterwards and go into Crash Bandicoot 2. Crash Bandicoot 2 starts right after Crash Bandicoot 1, after you beat Cortex. He plummets down into a cave, which is right near his castle. He finds crystals and teams up with someone called Engine. Engine tells Cortex that the crystal he had found is a master crystal and needs the 25 slave crystals for it to work. So it's up to Cortex to get them. But how would he do that if he doesn't have any new friends left? Well, of course, you'd expect him to call on a new character. Maybe Engine could go rival Crash, but nope. You're going to find that fuzzy marsupial and get him to help you, even though he'd probably know by now that you're up to evil. Well, I guess he doesn't. While going to the woods to find a battery for his new character sister Coco, yes, Tawna is not to be found in this game, he stumbles across a blinding light, which sends him over into a new location, which is a warp room with many different levels. Cortex informs him that he needs to find all the crystals, all 25 crystals, to save the universe. Unfortunately though, Engine soon comes on the phone and says that you need to find the gems instead. This will only happen after you find a gem. This basically means that you have to lean towards one side. You can either go with Brio and get all the gems, or you can go with Cortex and get all the crystals. If you get all the crystals, you'll have to fight Cortex at the end of the game. If you get all the gems, Brio will help you destroy the space station and it will come plummeting, which will soon be the opening to Crash Bandicoot Warped, the third game in the series, developed by Naughty Dog, which will be the next review we do, before Crash Team Racing and the live stream for the Insane Trilogy. Now we're done with that, let's get on to gameplay. Gameplay seems to be a really strong aspect in this game that is really, really good compared to what it was in the Crash Bandicoot 1 game. The jumps feel less slippery and weird and feel more tight and responsive. You feel like you're actually jumping from platform to platform as a real person, even though you're holding a controller in your hands and you can feel it. There's also a chance that you might be able to do a slide and a new body slam attack, which also feel very responsive. Spinning feels the same, but it didn't feel that bad in the first one, so it's a fair win, and it's decent in this game. It's really good in this game, and I used it all the time. There's slide on the enemies in this game, and the run is quite fast this time. But there's nothing new to add to the game other than those things. Slide on the enemies are a gimmick. They aren't really necessary for the gameplay, and I'm not really into them. But as I was saying, Crash Bandicoot 2 has a rocking soundtrack. Here, have a listen to some of it. Now we move on to the bosses. The bosses are recruited by Nitrous Brio to stop you in your path from getting the crystals. The bosses include Tiny Tiger, Ripperoo, Komodo Bros, and many more which I shall not spoil for you. All the bosses in this game are better than the originals. Unfortunately though, I did really enjoy the Ripperoo fight a lot more. There could have been a lot more to the Ripperoo fight, but they never did anything with it, so it kind of, to me, seems a bit bland. In the first game though, they tried their hardest to make the bosses great, but they never were great. The level design in this game, in general, was actually really decent. There's levels where you have to backtrack, but that was also in the first game. It's not as good as the first game's backtracking, I can tell you that much now. It feels wrong when you're backtracking, because the game doesn't incentivize backtracking, it incentivizes platforming. But there's a very little platforming emphasis here. Unfortunately though, that doesn't stop the game from getting a high score. Crash Bandicoot 2, very enjoyable. I took a lot of things under the wing with this game, and the series in general. This game was the third game I played on the PS3. Yes, or a Crash game on the PS3. This was the third game I played because I played Crash Bandicoot Team Racing, then this game, then Warped. It's very nice, very cool, and I didn't even get onto the graphics, man. Jeez. So new characters, Engine, Komodo Bros, and many others. Let's get this straight, all the characters are nice. They all look great. They all look great actually. Ripperoo looks amazing. Tiny looks amazing. Crash has a newer model actually, which is based off of the old model, just a few modifications have been made to it. That's what Jason, Ruben and Andy Gavin told everyone on Twitter. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy Bell look good. I've seen a bit of gameplay and it looks alright. I've just not seen it in 10K, in 1080p, which is what I want to see it in because my TV is 1080p. Hopefully I can get a 1080p live stream out of it. But yeah, the game itself is good. Way better than the first one. So, what score do I give it? Well, it's not the best. Obviously. It's not the best platformer in the series in my opinion. It doesn't deserve that much praise, but it is still very good. My score? I give it a fair score of 8.52 out of 10. 8.52 out of 10 is brilliant. So yeah, it's not the best Crash Bandicoot game, so it could do with some touch-ups. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like the video if you did enjoy it. I'm going to link a video at the end, so please go and watch it. I'll see you in a bit. Bye all! Disclaimer. The following video you are about to watch has no audio music from the game, unlike the other ones. It also has a clip from Crash Bandicoot The Insane Trilogy near the end, which I should mention in the video. Crash Bandicoot, I neglected to say some stuff in Crash Bandicoot 2, expecting them to say here, which you will hear in a bit. So let's get to the review. Crash Bandicoot Warped is the third Naughty Dog game ever to be released in the Crash Bandicoot series, and it's the second to last. I love these games and I love what Naughty Dog did, but they had to let it go. Universal continued the franchise anyway, and it got worse and worse until Activision got it. So, what do I think of this game? What do I think of the game? Yeah, I think it's the best of the trilogy. This thing I neglected to talk about in this video, just in the Crash Bandicoot 2 review, so I can say them in here, but you know, because I can. Like, I neglected to say stuff like, I remember not talking about the death, the thing about the boxes. So if you die, you can now get a box, a crate from hitting all the boxes, even if you die. So that was a good thing. And there was also a slide on the enemies, but they weren't actually in this game, and I only realised after playing it again for the review. Playing a couple of levels and not finding any at all. The only one that had a different tactic where you can't just come up to it and spin is the two-headed monster freak thing, because you might have a chance of getting destroyed. But yeah. Just a disclaimer before we get to the actual review, story, aspects and that. You might see by the end of the video this Crash Bandicoot The Insane Trilogy walk footage, which I've not done for the other two. That's because people have obviously seen the other two, where many people haven't seen the third one. And if they have, congratulations, you probably like the best person ever. But I've said that I'd do this because, you know, I thought maybe mix it up, because for the Crash Team Racing one we won't have it, and I've not had the chance to promote the Insane Trilogy fully, so I'm going to promote it here right now. So anywho, the story. The story takes place right after Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back. If you defeated Cortex with the laser beam that Embryo made, Embryo is nowhere to be seen in this game, but it's a good game. While falling, Uka Uka is unleashed from a temple and tells Cortex that he's hired someone new to help Cortex in his plans of world domination. That person being Entropy. Is it Trophy or Tropy? But Aku Aku tells Crash and Coco about Uka Uka when they go to the... And after that, they go to the warp room in this game, where they have to evaluate how to stop Cortex. And they get there, and now it's their job to stop Cortex in his tracks. So, I found, and this is not the best story. I think the second game was the best, but it was good, nonetheless. Anywho, Crash Bandicoot has a new dance, so every time you get a gem in the second game, or a gem / relic in this game, you'll be treated to a little dance. And this dance is really funny, so I'd recommend going and finding it on the internet. It's just really cool. You might be able to see it sometime in this video, I don't know. Anywho, the gameplay is exactly the same as the last one. I have no complaints. I have no complaints at all. Whatever I said last time about the controls, them being the best controls in the series, I don't think I said that, but I'm going to say here they are the best in the series. So they're exactly the same, and the character models are exactly the same. Everything is pretty much the same except for levels and story. They have added a new power-up thing, like a new power-up message. These power-ups can be used after you defeat a boss. There's the run after you get beat the final boss, which will help you with time trials. There is a bazooka. Don't remember when you get that. Double jump, I think, after you get defeat Dingle Down, and there's two others that I don't really use. Oh yeah, Super Mega Body Slam, which comes after the tiny boss fight. But yeah, that's about it. Music this time. I might just show you a bit here. There's the dance. Heck, the remaster has a really good soundtrack. Take a listen. Yes, I have sped them up because, I want it to be in a time limit. But if you slowed them down, if you took this and put it through Windows Movie Maker and slowed all the footage down, when I have actually let you listen to the music, you would see how it sounds. It sounds amazing. Anywho, the music sounds best, and the gameplay actually is a bit better. It's the same thing. It just has a, how would I say, better feeling control style. Is that the right thing? Yeah, I'd say it is. It just feels a lot better than the second game, even though it's exactly the same. Feels tighter. Well, that's all I have to say on the Crash Bandicoot 3. The game is very, very good. It takes what you know from Crash Bandicoot 2, puts you to the test, bringing you up with new skills and new attack methods, and bringing you up with so much more. It's like, say, taking Crash Bandicoot 2 and making mods for it. It's that fun. I feel like it's a mod of the second game, but that ain't being rude, because if they did make this as a mod for the second game, it would have been way better than what Naughty Dog could have done with this game. Naughty Dog has made this game, and Naughty Dog is basically built upon. This trilogy has been absolutely amazing. From start to finish, I've played, and I've enjoyed. The levels I chose to play to get a good feel for this actually stem from what I played as a child. All the time. In my own time when I'm playing these games. Crash Bandicoot Battle Cortex never matched any of this, but it did try, and I can give it credit where it's due. But it's not due much credit. The Insane Trilogy is going to improve by letting most levels where you can play as Crash playable as Coco, which means that levels like this one, Tomb Raider, shall be allowing you to play as Coco in the Insane Trilogy. I can't wait for it, and you should pre-order it. The game comes out June 30th. There's a lot of new things being added and a lot of things being taken away, which were struggles to the originals that made you want to rip your hair out. Naughty Dog has made a successful series. They started it. Let's hope it doesn't end anytime soon. Good going, Naughty Dog. Good going. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Buy the Insane Trilogy, June 30th.
Crash is back.
Bringing with him 3 of his best games. Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back, and Crash Bandicoot 1, in the form of a game known as Crash Bandicoot's Insane Trilogy. A game developed by a formerly known Crash Bandicoot Game Boy developer and developer of the Crash Team Racing successor, or remake as people refer to it as, Crash Nitro Kart, have come to bring you, in the help with Activision, Crash Bandicoot's Insane Trilogy exclusively to the PS4 for line of family. But is it even good? Or is it another cash grab? Let's see if Activision tested the water is completely successful. As this is the 4th game I've reviewed, yes, I'm not counting this Crash Team Racing review that did get cancelled. as it's the fourth I reviewed. For the game I reviewed, I've had to go and take some strong notes about these games. I'm going to start off with Crash Bandicoot 1. I originally gave the game a 6 out of 10, which I've recently uploaded to a 7. I did say in a live stream I downgraded it to a 6, but you got to understand I was tired. Now I'm upgrading it to a 7, and it still holds strong with the Insane Trilogy. The story doesn't need to be explained, but the cutscene and graphics do, as it's the best polish we've seen on any Crash Bandicoot game since Crash Twinsanity. Yes, even though my novel mutant did look amazing, I don't think it looked as good as Crash Twinsanity on PS2. Heck, it didn't even look as good as Crash Bandicoot Nitro Kart on the Xbox. Or Wrath of Cortex for that matter. But this game is the best looking game in the trilogy. And best sounding as well. Well, not even the trilogy, the whole series. Crash Bandicoot 1 is now officially my favourite game. At least in the Insane Trilogy. The controls are much better with an analog stick, but I still find myself going back to Slippery Climb with a D-pad. And yes, I said Slippery Climb. The DLC is out for free. Get it before August 19th. It is actually really fun and challenging. Any veteran Crash player will cry while playing it. And it's amazing to see how much care was put into it. As a level that was missing, it kind of touches me in all the right ways. So, in here. Once again, I upgraded the score to a 7, but what do I think of it now? The boss fights are still quite easy, but the context fight in the end is pretty hard. So is the pinstriping and Brio, and because they're the last 3, they have to be harder than the original. Through Koala Kong, Papu Papu, and my favourite in the whole trilogy, the Haru. Moving on to something else I'd like to actually complain about. Yes, I'm using promotional footage because I haven't been able to record my own. Well, I have got one great point is that the way the loading screens are, they could have actually added something completely different in the load screen. Maybe add an additional thing to do. Heck, I would have loved it if they fleshed it out and added a full background, and instead of saying Crash Bandicoot the Insane Trilogy, have any different style of artwork for the game than Neville's name. So like, say for the first game you'd have the bonus round for Brio. It says Nitrous Brio's bonus round. In the Crash Bandicoot style, Crash Bandicoot 1 style of logo. Crash Bandicoot 2 would have something like, I don't know, let's say Crash Bandicoot 2 would have a Hang, and in the Crash Bandicoot 2 logo it would say Hang, and then below it 8, and then level 4, for example. And then maybe even for Crash Warped, Toad Village, and in Crash Warped style, Toad Village, and then underneath it put Warped. That would be pretty funny and pretty cool. Maybe even have Aku Aku be able to move around if you won't get to hit that. But I digress. It doesn't stop me from not enjoying the game. Especially as now I can do the bonus rounds 3 times like I like. And the time trials in the first game actually feel like they fit. These are still missing Slippery Climb and bloody hell. Even Sunset Vista doesn't allow you to do it. So yeah, I give Crash Bandicoot the Insane Trilogy Crash Bandicoot a 9.5 out of 10. Almost perfect, but it has flaws, so I'm going to give back from being a 10. Moving on to Crash Bandicoot 2, it's almost the same story. Originally, I don't remember what I gave the score. The game a score of. But I can say now, thinking of it, I'd actually give this game a lower score than the first game in the set. because it's the way how I feel it's been treated. It has been rushed very possibly. Some levels feel washed out, but everything else works fine. All the slide jumps and the slide spins, I love them. But that's something else entirely, and I do not want to get into that. I just love how well put together the second game was. Music wise, there are a few tracks that didn't make sense, like Hang 8s with the distorted guitars. Original was just like bum 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 bum. Now it's it doesn't sound right. And I have to say, the boss fights, then they're way easier than the originals. Just showing that they skimmed over them just to save time and effort, which could have actually gone in and made a good game. But I do give this an 8, as it's one of the lesser ones, and it is the worst in the Anderson trilogy. Crash Bandicoot 3 worked, however. It's still looking washed out, it's still having almost the same problems, has better boss fights and better looking, better sounding music. The graphic and art versions are amazing, but don't get close to the Bandicoots because then you see some really weird vertex showing. I digress. The third game in the Insane trilogy is the middle point. I'd give it about an 8.5. But nevertheless, I'm finding the game fun, enjoyable, and worth your time. The third game. The relics, as always, felt in place, but the vehicles seem to control worse. The environment is pure. And that's probably because they took the design from Torah. I have to also say, there are a few glitches between each game. The only one I've had is in Crash Bandicoot 2 with the pop unbearable glitch. And in Crash Bandicoot 2 where I was able to stand on an invisible ledge in the third game's Gone Tomorrow level. I have also noticed a really weird glitch, but that was in the first game, where Crash Bandicoot, during his spinning warp-out, as he's throwing it up and he does this little scratch of his head, if you move, you'll be able to keep that on. Just don't spin or else he gets rid of it. And that's pretty much all that I found. And I give Crash Bandicoot Warped a solid 8 out of 10. 8.4 out of 10. So one with an 8, one with an 8.4, and one with a perfect. What do I have to say? It's not that bad. Sure, there are a few glitches and a few bugs. I can overlook them. This is a Crash Bandicoot game, something we've been asking for years. I'm glad it's happened. I give the game an 8 out of 10. It's fun. No score, 8.5. 8.5 out of 10. No. I know. I give it a 9 out of 10. Thank you, Activision. You listened. Well done, you. Come back next time when I plan to review Crash Team Racing, and I'm re-reviewing it. Redoing my old review. Thank you. Goodbye.
Right, this was never included before, but I have to do this because until, the ending, there was a song that would get me a copyright claim. And I'm not in the mood for that after the previous video getting so many copyright claims that they're earning like tens and thousands off of a single viewing. So, yeah, I'm going to speak over this for a bit. So thanks everyone for watching to this point. Enjoy the rest of the video. It's an extra little bit long, so yeah. Enjoy.
Fine. How's about we do it? I've got nothing else to do with my time. Not going back now. Keep it in. Squeeze the fox. Squeeze parasitical. Squeeze. Well. Sonic in 2006. I don't want to do this. This game is too scary for Halloween. It's that bad. But I guess I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna torture myself. Let's start with Sonic's story. Oh boy. What a story it is. The Princess of Soliana is owning a festival for the Flames of Disaster to keep their gods at dismay. What's the problem with this? They're all worried they're all gonna die. Yeah, what a way to celebrate your gods. All of a sudden, Elise has this flashback about the Flames of Disaster coming up and rising, I don't know. And then Eggman comes around. I'm not even going to show his face, it's that ugly. Just type in on Google, Sonic 06, Eggman. It's ugly as hell. Anyway, he comes and he demands the Chaos Emerald. That damn fourth Chaos Emerald. I'm hilarious and original. Anywho, Sonic comes by the blue blur and he goes like, hey, you can't do that, Eggman. Step off of the princess, she's mine. Whatever, that's my best Sonic impression, innit? Hold on a minute. Snip, snip. Oh! I forgot it was sideways for protection. No, I'm kidding, obviously. But, you know, Sonic stops Eggman and his robots from capturing Elise and takes Elise away from Eggman. Eggman soon catches her while Sonic is dealing with some robots, and Elise throws Sonic the damn false Chaos Emerald, which is blue. And now it's up to Sonic to go save Elise. That's about it. That's pretty much all that happens throughout his story. She's been kidnapped. You saved her. She's been kidnapped. This is Mario on repeat. This is how many... You're saving the Princess Elise more time you're saving Peach in one Mario game. You're doing about 6 Mario games of work within one game. This is absolutely insane. Now, on to the gameplay of Sonic's story. I used to love this game, to be honest. 2 years ago, when I first played it. Just before its 10th anniversary. I remember it well. I thought it didn't look too bad. Which it doesn't. And it played alright. Kind of like Sonic Adventure. I replayed recently to find a slippery, unwanted, broken piece of garbage. This game doesn't understand what fluent control is. It doesn't understand anything about controlling a video game character at the high altitudes of what Sonic is going. There's been multiple times in my playthrough where I have hit a wall during a mock speed section, gone spazzing out, and just died. Died because I clipped a wall. More evident in Wave Ocean when you hit that ramp and you are supposed to hold forward. You're not told this. You're supposed to know that. How am I supposed to know that? How am I supposed to know? You're supposed to hold forward after hitting a ramp. His spin dash. In Sonic Adventure, Sonic Generations, any game where he does the spin dash, you can do it while he's moving. But, as always, Sonic Team has had to change it. The normal way that you do it, back when you just hit a button or you hit down on a button and you just curl into a ball and shoot, you have to hold when you're still, hold the X/square button depending on the version you are playing. You have to hold that button, make you charge up and then go. And you can't turn properly when you're in that state. And you can't jump. So if you're about to go off on an edge and you're still in that ball movement and you're still going, you're gonna crash into a wall and you're gonna be done. That's gonna be you dead. You can't jump if the spin dash is active. You can't stop the spin dash from being active. Once that spin dash is on, that's it. Sonic Team messed up the spin dash that bad. As you can see on the screen, there is a mock speed section playing. These places, as you can see, Sonic just spazzed out by hitting an item. A thing, a physical object that is there as an obstacle but can actually kill you in your gameplay. Very well done. You're killing your players. You're stopping people from playing your video game. Like on in the UK one we got on the disc, it was just a normal golden thing that just said Sonic the Hedgehog on it. But in America, it had Sonic's smug face on it. We're better. But, you know, I actually have something to say about the music for Sonic section. His world is great. It's a great song. His World is one of my favourite Sonic songs of all time. It's classic. It appeared in Sonic Generations. Not a lot of Sonic music got that, praise of honor. It was a great song. Crush 40 did amazing with it. Silver. I'm even dipping into characters that haven't even been introduced to Sonic's story as of this point. Silver. And his techno song, it's absolutely amazing. And Shadow, even though it's a remix of All Hail Shadow from the Shadow the Hedgehog game released in 2005, just the year before this one, Shadow's song is the second best Sonic song, in my opinion, of all time. Crush 40 did a much better job than what the original crew did. To be honest though, there's one more thing I have to say about this game. And the Sonic portion. You see, the way it was programmed is that it's supposed to emulate the Adventure Days. There's a title I would have given it that many people are starting to think of giving it, but we'll save that till later. All you need to know now is that this is the worst appearance of Sonic until 2014. We all know what train wreck I'm on about. We'll get to that soon enough. Now it's time to get on to the badasses story. Shadow the Hedgehog. As always, he's speeding by, trying to save Rogue, who works for Gun. He's also working for Gun, as they try to get the Scepter of Darkness that held Methalese in. Methalese wants to get with the Flames of Disaster, and it actually looks very much like Shadow. So people believe it's Shadow. Actually, that was kind of actually a plot to this game. I got confused. Really confused really quickly. The Flames of Disaster, he finds out Methalese wants the Flames of Disaster to go ahead and, take over Soliana, the town that the people live in. So now Shadow must stop Methalese from merging with Solaris, which is the Flames of Disaster. Now, Shadow doesn't control as good as Sonic, and Sonic doesn't control well. That means Sonic controls better than Shadow, but Shadow controls badly. He's slippy slidey, and that's supposed to be right because he's on ice skates, but he's too slippy slidey. Something about Sonic and Shadow is they have the homing attack, which is great. I'm glad to see it back from Sonic Adventure, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow the Hedgehog. Except from now you can homing attack onto rails, which I don't feel comfortable with. Because, you know, you wouldn't expect Shadow or Sonic to be hooking onto a rail. That's not how it's supposed to work. But I'm digressing. Let's move on to my thoughts on Shadow. I think this is the worst, second worst part of the game. We'll get onto the worst in a bit. Shadow is an absolute badass, and his moves show he's an absolute badass. Need proof, people? He does spinny kicks, and when you attack using the homing attack, he comes off spinning, flipping, before he lands on the ground. He can ride vehicles, even though the vehicles aren't good. They are horrendous. But, you know, the aesthetics in his levels are just the same as Sonic's. Great. Could have been better, but early Xbox 360 graphics. I can let it pass. Oh yeah, there was a PS3 port of this game, as many of you know, which is significantly worse. And it's actually a bit more expensive than this game. So, I didn't pick it up. I chose this game, this version, the 360 version instead. Because it was cheaper and apparently the best version of the game. And, side note, there is no better version of the game. They're all the exact same! I don't get why people say that the 360 version is the superior version that you must play. Shadow, I can't remember if he had a spin dash, but, you know, it probably would. He's pretty much a carbon copy of Sonic with a new plot. His character model is alright. I mean, Sonic's is amazing, actually. He's kind of the best thing about this game, Sonic himself. The side characters, Blaze, doesn't actually control that well. Rouge can get locked onto walls. Oh yeah, he can ride a buggy, like stuff like that. But Rouge can get stuck on walls when grabbing onto them. And you're supposed to find random pieces, but like Knuckles and Knuckles in Sonic Stories, which I didn't speak about these, but you can play as Knuckles and Tails in Sonic Stories, but Knuckles and Rouge get stuck to the walls, have no radars to what you're finding, and you have to basically do a Sonic Adventure without Sonic Adventure. It can kind of get annoying, exasperating at times. It's amazing how bad they can make a video game be. Rush development? Who cares? There's games such as Ukulele, who were delayed but had rushed things. I'm actually pulling out the big guns. Five Nights at Freddy's World was rushed. And even though it was tumbling at the start, people came to love the game. It's one of the great FNAF games, in my opinion. It's better than FNAF Sister Location, or the first one, definitely. My opinion, people, don't start dissing. What else was I gonna say? I have something to say about Shadow Story. Oh yeah, Omega is faster than Sonic. Yeah, mind blown. Blood across the wall, seriously. No, I'm kidding, obviously. Mind blown because I always thought Sonic was the fastest thing alive, but Omega in this game is faster. You don't get to play as Omega a lot. And Tails is actually slower than Sonic, but can fly, but Tails just controls bad. I want to skip all these side characters, but I have to speak about Omega. Omega is the second best character in this game. He's fast, he's not slippy actually, he's kind of a good controlling character. He's the best part about this game, control-wise. The character itself, I don't think anyone would want to play as it after Heroes was so slippy with him. To be honest, it could have been a lot worse. I actually have nothing else to say about this game. 06 is kind of, you know, a game that you talk about once and you don't want to talk about again. And, you know, I'm trying to make points here, but honestly, I'm kind of stressed out and I'm relaxing a bit. I'm starting to take my chill pill. One thing I can't forgive though, which is going to annoy me, is the next part. And yes, I'm going to spend a long, long time on this part.
It seems they don't want us to leave.
Now on to newcomer, Silver the Hedgehog. A character that's first appearance was this game and would later go on to be in games like the Rivals duology, Sonic and the Black Knight, Sonic tennis games, Generations, and the upcoming Sonic Forces game. So he's made himself a big main character role for the series. The character of Silver has the main goal of just trying to make his post-apocalyptic future better than what it is now, and the way he thinks of doing that is by destroying Sonic. That's what Mephiles tells him to do, at least. So he goes around modern day Soleala and even goes back to his future to stop Sonic, destroy him, killing him before the Flames of Disaster could be released from what is known as at least the Princess. Whatever, I don't actually care anymore. Silver's gameplay is the worst thing about 06. He is the worst. His plot is the worst thing about Sonic 06 because it's bland, unoriginal, uninformed ideas. The story goes that after this seal the Solealan flames of Solaris were locked inside of Elise, they're kind of locked in there until she dies or cries. Killing Sonic will make her cry, but release her. But that's what Mephiles wants. If Mephiles kills Sonic, she'll cry, he can form with Solaris and make Iblis. So basically Sonic is the Iblis trigger if Mephiles wins. His gameplay is basically running, jumping, telekinesis. Telekinesis would have worked better if he could do stuff like Star Wars characters could do, where he could pick stuff up, manipulate them, but all he can do is pick them up and destroy them. That's a minigame or town mission where you have to put apples in baskets using your telekinesis. Fun fact, I hate it. It's the worst minigame ever. It's the worst town mission ever. Funny thing is, this is the first game since Sonic Adventure 1 to have a hub. 7 years was the last time. And they failed. They absolutely failed. Because it's too big and empty. But what's sad is, there's a bunch of town missions in it, which try to pad it out. His levels and his models are okay, but Sonic and Shadow interfere with them too much. Shadow and Sonic get involved with each other's plots and all that, and so does Silver. And after a while, it can get a bit annoying. What's funny is, the blue emerald that came from Elise, given to Sonic, came from Silver, who gave it to her in the past and could make any wish come true. So yeah. Yeah. Fun fact about that. I have pretty much nothing else to say. I am gonna rage for a minute here. So, just a warning for any headphone users. Might get a bit irritating. When you have a plot like this, you gotta be careful with what you're gonna do with the character, because the character might not fit into the plot well. This character absolutely doesn't. This character seems like the guy who wants to kill everyone just so that his war will be better. How has he got the hero plot? How's he got his own story? I could say the same about Shadow. He's not good, but he's not bad. As we learned in Sonic Adventure 2, Heroes, and Shadow the Hedgehog. All three of the games he appeared in before this one. We've learnt that he's not good. This guy wants to be good, but has to do stuff for his own future. He doesn't care about anyone else in our future right now. In the present. He wants his future to be better. Blaze talks him out of this. Blaze is the one that tells him destroying humanity is not a good thing. And that it won't help their future. It won't do anything. They're going to steal away Iblis and all this and that. And I don't care. I'm getting stressed. I've had enough of Silver's story. He's an uninteresting, bland character. And he only has, well, he has two. Oh my god. 2 side characters. Blaze. Controls really well. Is about the same speed as Sonic. Can do everything Sonic can do with a few new powers. She's the 3rd best character in the game. Let's go on to the 2nd worst. Amy. Plays exactly like she did in Adventure 1. And I didn't like that. It sucks. Why does Silver have to have the worst story? He had so much potential. But the potential wasn't taken by the Sonic team because they had to rush it and rush it and rush it. Sega, if you give them more time, they could probably make a better game. You wouldn't have to make fun of it then. And after all this, it sums up to one final story. One that is so bad. So bad. It wipes this game from existence. And you'll understand what I mean right when we get to the ending of the review. You made it through. You've made it to the end of the review. Here comes the last episode. Spoiler alert. Do not continue if you don't want any spoilers for the ending of Sonic 06. Which you probably won't skip because none of you are even going to torture yourself like I did. Mephiles gains power of one of the emeralds and uses some magic power he gains from it to shoot a laser beam into Sonic, killing him and making Elise cry, separating Iblis from Elise. Mephiles joins with Solaris and makes Iblis and conquers the world, and all of the characters, except from Elise, go and get some emeralds. So we have Knuckles, Tails, Omega, Blaze, Amy, and Rouge. 6 characters go out to get the emeralds, but there was one that Elise had. So using them and a kiss. Oh my god, some people have actually kissed in a Sonic the Hedgehog game. This is gross. Yeah, so what? You kiss in real life, you're gonna kiss in a video game. So what? It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean they're in a relationship. People don't understand this. People actually make me cringe when they say they're in a relationship. No, it ain't. Just because they decided, no, let's have a kiss, doesn't mean they're in a relationship. Now, I have one thing to say. The final boss is amazing. They kiss. And right afterwards, Sonic turns Super Sonic, Shadow and Silver turn Super Shadow and Super Silver, and they go out and they fight Iblis. They destroy Iblis, and Silver goes back to his future. But Iblis returned after Elise's death. Blaze takes Iblis inside of her as a sacrifice and teleports herself to another dimension. At this point, Sonic and Elise make the bravest decision of all time. Oh, so the game calls it. Anywho, they made the decision to erase the game and the events from existence. the game never happened. Elise didn't care about the world. All she wanted was to continue living with Sonic. She doesn't care what happens to the world. Sonic says, just smile. She smiles and says goodbye by blowing out the candle, which contained Solaris's last soul. That's over and done with now. The game was finished. How does it end? Well, the Soliana Festival continues. Elise heads it, and Sonic just happens to fly by to go have a look. And we see him smile, look down, and run off, meaning he still remembers the events while no one else does. Thus concluding Sonic 06. And this final story, anger alert, is the worst thing ending ever. It makes me want to tear my hair out. It basically says, oh, you just wasted money. I'm glad I didn't spend $60 on it and only spent 12. If I spent $60 on this to find out that the game didn't matter, I would have gone full on crazy mode. I would have actually ripped this game apart, smashed it to bloody pieces. It would have been obliterated when I was done with it. I'm so glad that whatever sad sap that probably bought this for $60 didn't bother to beat it and just gave it right away. It was probably sitting there for years in the back because nobody would buy it, and decided they were going to stock that game right there because it was the only copy they were getting, and I managed to grab it. Happiness comes when you want it, and I wanted this happiness, but it never happened. It never came. I'm angry. Oh yeah, there's Eggman's model. Ugly. Ugly, ugly, ugly. Ugly, ugly. Oh. One thing I can compliment this game for is it's amazing. There's a few things I'm gonna just list down now. Compliments. Soundtrack. You can buy it on iTunes and the Google Play Store. 3 different parts. Amazing soundtrack. Go try it out. It's good as heck. Nice graphics. Great CGI. The textures for 2006 don't look the worst thing ever. There was so much enjoyment I had out of the game when I first played it. I felt like a child just getting a Dreamcast and playing Sonic Adventure for the first time. I felt like I was in a new world. This game was actually original. And the final good thing about it is that it didn't matter until Sonic Generations came around. But even then it was only a cameo level and a cameo character, which was the rival version. And the reason they added Crisis City is because they had to have a Sonic 06 level to celebrate its, 5-year anniversary. And I'm glad that it didn't have to exist for 5 years in the continuity. No references had been made to it other than the Sonic teams poking fun at their own game. And to be fair, I would do if I would too. Alex Weber is the funniest guy when it comes to stuff like Big the Cat, Sonic memes, Sonic 06 memes, Sonic 06 dissing. He's really cool, and he's a nice guy. He runs a Twitter account, so if you go on the Twitter or Facebook, you'd see a bunch of posts and stuff like that. Bubsy has been dissing on Sonic recently, so, there's a bit of banter there. But that's Sonic 06. I kinda guess it's not the worst thing ever. But that doesn't mean it's not absolutely horrendous. Okay. Whew.
What's the matter?
I feel Sonic's presence in the wind. I don't think he's dead yet.
That was my Halloween review of Sonic 06. Was it really that bad of a game? Yes it was. I will never ever forget it. It took my money, it robbed me, I'm done. So, from the new scoring system, from 1 to 10, I would give it a 9. The bullshit rating. The bullshit rating means it's horrendous. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out, guys. See you next time. Huh?
World hunger.
Hmm?
Nuclear proliferation.
Oh.
Reality TV.
Oh,
None of those
for
horrors
God's
compared to
sake.
Yarn Ball Deprivation.
Yarn ball deprivation.
I've been waiting to settle this score since 1993.
Nice reference though, but why,
Bubsy,
might I ask,
the Woolies
why?
strike back.
So I would like an explanation to what this is. Back in 1993, Bubsy made his debut appearance in Bubsy 1, then being followed up by Bubsy 2, then Bubsy Jaguar, then Bubsy 3D, before going into non-existence. Now in 2017, years after his demise, he's back on the PlayStation 4 and PC with Bubsy the Woolies Strike Back. Accolade returns to bring to us this nightmare of a game that many people were hyping up to be the worst in the series. Being headed by the Black Forest Games studio, Bubsy the Woolies Strike Back plot makes no sense. And neither does this review so far. So, do you understand what's going on in this clip? Do you? Do you? Because I barely understand it. To me, it makes barely any sense. All that's happened is, according to one of the trailers, the golden ball got jacked up by those damn woolies. The Woolies Strike Back name is a parody of Star Wars. And yes, it's not a funny one. It doesn't even make sense. Anywho, you play as Bubsy, the Bobcat, who has to travel through about 14 levels to stop the Woolies and get back his golden yarn ball. The plot is bad, and I'm not even going to hold back. It is not as good as what the other games had. I don't even remember their plots. They're not memorable. But this one's so memorable because it's just bad. Those probably had some good plots. I know that Bubsy 3D didn't, but the first three better have. Oh, jeez. This time, for control-wise, Bubsy actually controls better than he did before. Actually, instead of going super fast like he did in the original games, or going super slow and stiff like in Bubsy 3D, he actually found a good balance between them. Going for partial slow, but still quite fast. Fast enough to actually platform. The game is actually more fun because of it. In each level there's around 600 yarn balls that you can collect, but only one matters to you. You can skip all of them, but you want to get to the end of the game to get the golden yarn ball. Once you do, you go home. Literally, I have nothing else to say. The graphics are not bad. I mean, you could go a lot worse. But the price point it sets out is about £25 to £30. Yeah, that's not a price a normal person would pay. So, that was Bubsy the Woolies Strike Back. The game obviously has flaws, and I wouldn't deem it awful. There's games that are worse out there, but this game didn't live up to what it was meant to be. It's supposed to be this big return of Bubsy. Bubsy was never going back after this. This is going to be the best Bubsy game. Funnily enough, even though it is poor, it's the best in the series. You can buy a bundle on Steam where you can get the first 2 games of Bubsy the Woolies Strike Back for about 30 to 35 bucks. I don't remember which. But this game I actually recommend. Not because it's so bad that you'd have to laugh at it, or because it's good. is because if we get more games kinda like this for Bubsy, just developing on the formula and making it better, we could have a good franchise on our hands. But Bubsy the Woolly Strike Back gets a 5. Mediocre. Bubsy is back. Sonic Mania! Oh my god, Sega's on the right track! I can't believe that they've done this! Oh my god! Oh. Yeah, I think we can skip over that. Oh god, yes, Sonic Mania, the classic Sonic formula returns. Since Generations 5 years ago, we've been waiting, and finally, it's returned. Did I say 5? My script writer, write better scripts. So, this game, obviously being released very recently, has got very well received reviews all over the board. But what makes it so good? Well, let's start off with the plot as we're right here at the start. So we see Sonic and Tails flying a plane over to Angel Island, which appeared in Sonic 3, making this an exact sequel to Sonic 3. And I know we had Sonic 4, don't remind me. So these egg robos from Sonic R and Sonic 3 obviously take the Phantom Ruby, which would become the power source for Eggman in the future's new scheme. It transports Sonic and Tails back to the past, where they're greeted with a familiar looking area. Which area am I talking about? Well, the most overused Sonic level, Green Hill Zone. And the hard-boiled heavies appear, which are basically modified versions of the Egg Robos. So how's gameplay then? Because the story's pretty good. How's gameplay? Gameplay's also pretty good. Hey, that's pretty good. Yeah, I had to make an iDubbbz joke there. So the gameplay basically is just your classic formulaic Sonic Mania. Not Sonic Mania. Scriptwriter, can you actually do your job? Jesus. So basically, it's basically the classic Sonic formula with a few tweaks. So where everything else is the same controls-wise, because Taxman knows what he's doing. He made the remakes, obviously. Because he knows what he's doing, he added a little thing known as the drop dash, which is really cool if you're just wanting to get a quick spin dash, which you could do a spin dash. But if you're in the middle of jumping and you just want to land on a spin dash, you can now, which is really satisfying. I really enjoy it. So, there's nothing else to say, is there? The graphics actually look really well done, especially when you go into the, blue sphere stages. These levels are entertaining and really fun, and they're full of action-packed times. I can get an hour's worth of gameplay just from these alone. Also, the regular special stages, absolutely amazing. But that's all I have to say on Sonic Mania. It's really well done. The Taxman, Stealth, all that who worked on it know what they're doing. And you may be asking, who's Taxman? It's Christian Whitehead, who worked on the original remakes for iOS Android of Sonic CD, which also released on PS3 and Xbox 360, and became backwards compatibility on PS4 through PS Now, and also, of course, the Xbox One with backwards compatibility. It also came out with Sonic 1 and 2 on the iOS and Android exclusively. No console port was ever made of these mobile games, and I wish they did. They did make an Apple TV version and a different version, but you know, they don't really count since you have to buy external stuff for it. So that was Sonic Mania. They did an amazing job, and I think that if they went back to this formula, they could master it perfectly. Sonic Mania, in my opinion, gets a 9 out of 10. Well done, Sega. Really well done. The following review is mature and has a mature game being played. You have been warned. Nintendo grew a pair. I repeat, Nintendo grew a pair. Yes, Rareware. The people that brought you Banjo-Kazooie and Perfect Dark, all these nice games that are rated between E and T, has finally brought you in the year 1990. Scriptwriter, I swear, we started with Sonic Mania, now we're going here. They brought to you in 2001 a game for the Nintendo 64 that's actually mature. Now this plot is all over the place, but I'm going to do it all the way through. This is going to be a justice review. Starts off, as you can see, Conker sitting there with a glass of milk. He takes a sip before explaining the following events.
Well, there I am. Conquer the king. King of all the land. Who'd have thought that? But how did I come to this, I hear you say? And who are those strange fellows that surround my throne? I hear you also say. Well, it's a long story. Come closer, and I'll tell you. It all started yesterday. And what a day that was. It's what I call a bad fur day.
I did indeed speed up the footage, but that was for a reason, because he speaks for quite a bit and I want to go into more detail. Conker calls his girlfriend Berry, who, yeah, I'm gonna go quiet for a minute. Just take a look. This was produced legitimately in the year 2001 for the Nintendo GameCube. Not GameCube. Scriptwriter, square! It's Nintendo 64, people. I'm sorry. Scriptwriter, fired. You're done. Anywho, Conker calls Barry, and a very funny, yet charming voicemail is given to Conker. When Conker leads to voicemail and Barry can't hear him, he explains and lies about how he's going to be late home because he's off drinking with some guys who are out to go fight some war somewhere. So, with one final love you, ends the phone call and, oh my god, I can't even read this. Did you write this by hand? You wrote this bit by hand. Good for you. Glad you're fired. He has to put the phone down, and by that point, someone says that it's his round, and he asks,
Okay. Can someone lend me a $5?
after getting incredibly intoxicated, which actually looked really well done for the Nintendo 64, he stumbles out quite drunkenly of the cock and plucker. I found that incredibly funny too, if I'm honest. No joke. So he walks out the cock and plucker and pukes next to somebody's foot. And he apologises, slaps her on the back, and makes a wrong turn to his house. Now, of course, you know, like anyone would do, he wouldn't just whip out his phone and call saying, hey, I'm on my way back. No, he just stumbles off on his own adventure. We see the Panther King, who has a broken table, and finds out that a red squirrel could fit the place. And he gets his scientists to work on something. And we find this out after Conker makes a turn from not nice or naughty up to near the castle. Of course, while working on it, the doctor throws out a really weird chocolate, which I can't show you right now because I want to get to gameplay. So your adventure begins, and I don't want to spoil anything. Please, go find this game on Xbox One, the Rare Replay Pack. Go buy it, emulate it. If you have a Nintendo 64, get the game off of eBay or Amazon, anywhere you can find it. If you see it, pick it up. Whether it be the Xbox original version, or the Xbox One port, or the original, I don't care. Emulate it. Play the Xbox original version on your Xbox 360. Do something. This game is incredible. Because gameplay-wise, it's a Banjo-Kazooie game. It's really well done. And it's really funny to see all the events. I have one scene that I really want to show you. And I'm going to play it right now. And I will put a time zone right here where you should skip to if you do not want to see the following scene.
She's all yours.
Oh, wish me luck, fella. Cheers, little fella. I feel.
I know, it's hilarious. But continuing on, we find Conker waking up drunk in the middle of nowhere. He walks into a little barn area to find Birdie, which at first he calls Beardy. Once Birdie, or Beardy, which I'm going to be calling it from now on because it's hilarious, Beardy tells him about a context-sensitive button that he can go to and press B, and they break the fourth wall, and I will show you that clip right here.
Hello.
It's Steve. And, well, actually, they, press B.
Press B.
Oh, yeah. The light comes on. And it makes this nice ting. Right, that ting noise. You guys ting. The lock ting. That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll press B.
What a fantastic way to break the fourth wall there, fellas. You really did well. So all that happens now is you get a bottle of pills, and that's about it. He takes the pills, and he's all better. Now we can talk about the controls of Conker. Conker controls really well, exactly like Banjo, with a flying ability like Tails from Sonic the Hedgehog. You can call this the best version of frickin' Tails ever. And he only has one tail. He's magically able to fly. And you know what's sick about this amazing game? It's its soundtrack. And it's amazing. No joke, if I was to play a clip, which I'm not going to since you've heard it multiple times, you would be impressed. I mean, there's multiple ways you can listen to it, but there's a song that I specifically want you to go watch, and it's Slot Brano, and I'll put it in the link in the description if you're really interested in this song. Remember I said you're fired? Don't bother trying to come back. We won't email you saying we want you to come back, and if we do, please remind us that we said this. Please. There is no script, right? This is me. I'm firing myself. But anywho, now there's only one more thing to cover, and that is graphics. And for Nintendo 64 in 2001, this could be put on the GameCube in 2000, and I wouldn't have cared. They could have showed this at Space War 2000 for the GameCube, and this would have looked perfect. It looks beautiful. And you may not think about it now since we have Call of Duty and we have all these realistic looking games, but this is the first game to ever use these kind of things, and the last game on the Nintendo 64. Following this, the GameCube got all the attention, and Conker never got a true sequel until 2014-15 with a Project Spark exclusive, Conker's Big Reunion. This game is fantastic, and I really think you guys should play it. I'm going to stop blabbering. This game definitely gets a 9.5 out of 10. Well freaking done, Conker.